Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 50th Annual Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Convention. And tell you what, if you haven't been here, you're missing out a big show. This is the Florida Aviation Network. I'm Ben Coleman, your anchor host for today's program, and we're coming to you live and in the clear from the Central Florida Aerospace Academy, and that's one of the many buildings here on the Sun and Fun campus. The campus is just huge, and it's just a pleasure to bring these programs to you. As a matter of fact, just outside this building to the east is a big, beautiful Piedmont 727. Actually, it's a FedEx 727 that he painted like a Piedmont. But for all practical, it's a Piedmont 727. We happen to have somebody else here from Piedmont. Brian?
Good to see you. Thanks
Brian,
for having us.
It's so good to be here. And DiLorenzo.
DiLorenzo.
See, some people have a hard time remembering that name. I don't.
You got it spot on.
Got it. Brian, Piedmont has had such an impact on so many people because of your heritage, background. And you were gobbled up, you were purchased by American Airlines in
2015.
2015.
Became part of the American Airlines group.
Okay. And that was a wonderful marriage from my perspective.
Sure.
Brian, tell us a little bit what you do with Piedmont, why you do it, how long you've been there, what you want to do in the future, and how you're I'm loading you up.
How much time do we have?
I'm loading you up. But
yeah.
You're the manager of?
Yeah, so I'm the manager of flight operations recruiting.
Okay.
So my team, we recruit for kind of anything to do with flight. Pilots, flight attendants, schedulers, dispatchers, instructors, kind of anything on the flight side. My team responsible for recruiting. Yeah, so I've been with Piedmont for 6 years now. Been the manager for coming up on 3 of those 6. Great job. My passion has always been helping new folks get into the field, and there's nothing like being able to stand like in a booth here at Sun and Fun and talk to young aviators.
Well, and Brian, I can tell you have a passion for it, or else, number one, you wouldn't be here.
Right.
But you can tell when somebody really enjoys what they do. And you know what they say about if you really enjoy what you do, you don't have to work a day in.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Now, there might be some long days, but Brian, tell us about, we're going to get into, we have several different interviews set up for you. This is one, we got another one tomorrow. We can develop more about maybe the maintenance side of the house maybe tomorrow.
Sure.
Let's concentrate on the operational side of the house, and then for the folks, again, watching this, operations is the stick wiggler, we call it, I call it, and of course the maintenance are the wrench turners. But there's a big marriage in those two operations.
Yeah.
Because you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, and it goes actually beyond that. We do an awful lot of ground handling all throughout the whole country. So, you know, we talk a lot about pilots, we talk a lot about flight attendants, we talk a lot about maintenance, but there's an awful lot of people making that flight go. All kinds of ground handling stations all over the country. So all those folks make it happen.
Hundreds of operations behind the scenes that you'll never know, and it should be seamless. For a reason, you don't know it.
Right.
It should be seamless.
Right.
You buy a ticket, you show up, you go, and you thank you, and I'll see you next trip.
Right.
But your pipeline program, and pipeline has many different connotations to it, but you do have a beginning, middle, and an end to your pipeline. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so at Piedmont, it's really easy to get kind of wrapped up in the moment, what you're looking for right now. We need qualified pilots, we need qualified captains, and that's what we're looking for. But we as a company really recognize that we need to go way before that, right? So, I mean, and that's why we partner with the ACE program here, big sponsor, Sun and Fun, because we realize that there's a lot of folks out there that don't know how to get started, right? Don't know how to be that pilot that we're trying to hire. So we have on the maintenance side, we have a tuition payment program. We can talk more about that perhaps tomorrow. And on the pilot side, we have a cadet program. So we're able to mentor folks kind of through the process as they build time. 500 hours they can interview, they get in, we give them some bonus money to start out with, and we let them go and build their time so they can become qualified to become Piedmont pilots. But the mentoring part of that is really important to us. We engage the cadets on a very regular basis to make sure they're doing well, make sure the training's going well, make sure they're safe as they're learning to fly. And again, we just know that we have to go way back. We visit a lot of high schools, you know. A lot of high schoolers out there don't even have a clue how to get into the aviation world, right? So
some of the high schoolers may not have a clue of how to get out of a parking lot. I didn't say that, did I?
No,
I
you
guess
didn't
I
say
did.
that.
No.
We might have the tape.
Inside voice.
Yeah, your inside voice. So again, you know, that mentoring and getting to the future of aviation, you know, the future aviators is extremely important to us. So we're constantly mentoring, sponsoring, whatever we can do to help the whole industry. And many of them may not come to Piedmont, right? We know that, but it
Some
helps
of them you don't want to come
yeah,
to
well,
Piedmont.
perhaps. Maybe the ones that can't get out of the parking lot, right? But you know, to support the industry as a whole, that's important for us. So we spend a lot of time doing that, and it's always one of my favorite things to do. You know, just introducing people to it. So.
Well, you've got only 3 years as a manager into it right now, 6 years total with the company. You've only got another, 54 years to go.
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, all kind of second career for me. So I've been a pilot for some time. I think I got my commercial in 2008, I think it was. I fly for a 135, a charter company on the side. And actually, when I first got to Piedmont, I had plans to be a Piedmont pilot. That was my goal. Well, we had a little bit of a training delay going on at the time, so I volunteered to go to a couple of recruiting events and just absolutely fell in love with it. I said, I can get my flying in at 135, and I can mentor folks as they become airline pilots. So, and I never looked back.
And you can build that time and seniority.
Yeah.
Because that seniority never stays, doesn't it?
Seniority is important. Yeah,
Okay.
very important.
But what got you involved, Brian, in flying in general? You got your commercial back. There's got to be a story behind it.
Yeah, there's always a story, right? I remember when I was a kid, I had a friend whose parents owned a 182, and we used to go to a local airport. Your typical fly-in breakfast every Sunday, and myself and my friend would lay out at the end of the runway and just watch the planes come over and land. And it was just a grass runway, not all regulated. You know, we weren't laying at the end of Lakeland or anything like that. But
It's surreal.
yeah. Cereal. Right. Yeah, so just got a passion at a very young age and explorer flight, and fortunately met some real good people at the local airport, and just, I started and couldn't stop. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It does kind of bite you.
It does. It does.
What are your passions? I mean, other than watching people excel, but what do you do for hobby or background? I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, I do a lot of flying. Actually, I have I'm into general aviation, so I have a plane that I spend a lot of time flying around in, and still fly for the 135 company on the side as well. And then, of course, the typical fishing and boating and that kind of good stuff.
Okay.
But
outdoor stuff.
Yeah, outdoor stuff. But aviation has never left once I got that bug at a very young age.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And I know you're happy with Piedmont, or else, I mean, you exude happiness.
Yeah, thank you.
And hopefully Piedmont, that's one of the reasons they have you in this position, and they trusted you to come and talk to us out here in the field, because you are the spokesman for Piedmont Airlines.
Sure, I'm proud to do it.
And right nipping on the heels of the American Airlines. Mm-hmm. American's been around for a long time.
Long time.
Talk to me about, I've got written down the growth plan. And we can do this both for operations and maintenance, because MROs are getting harder and harder to come by. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure the airlines are going to have to start doing cross operations. But what is the growth for Piedmont? What are we doing?
Well, it kind of goes back to the being part of the American Airlines group. I'm proud of Piedmont in a lot of ways. It probably foremost is kind of the culture at Piedmont. But that aside, as far as the growth plan, we're amazing performers, you know, and when I say on time and cancel flights, and we do a great job for American Airlines, and they recognize that. And again, it's not just the pilots. I mean, it takes the entire team to do that. Everything, dispatchers, schedulers, ground crew, all the folks, real important to, you know, to do a good job. So we're great performing airline. So American really has supported us through the whole growth plan, and that is, you know, we continue to hire. You hear a lot in the news how some folks are faltering a little bit with, you know, cutting back on hiring, and that's not in our plan. We continue to hire. We're hiring direct entry captains now, and first officers. We continue to put into the cadet program, and increase the number of aircraft we can fly. So the growth plan, things are looking good for us. We feel good.
Your cadet program is intriguing because do you have mentors that you assign to these young pilots? Are they already pilots, or do you make them pilots?
Yeah, the cadets?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the cadets will have 500 hours when they come in. So typically, our typical cadet, and I hate to say typical cadet because they really can build time any way they want, but is typically, they are typically the CFIs at schools just trying to build time. And so with the cadet program, they're guaranteed a position. So it's kind of a foundation for them, both from a financial standpoint, because we do pay them as they build hours, based on the number of hours they're building. But yeah, the mentoring is really important. So I have 2 recruiters on my team specifically assigned to the cadet program. So they have one-on-one contact with all the cadets. We have what we call a walk-around Wednesday, we call it. So every Wednesday we have a virtual meeting with all the cadets where they can come in and just network, right? Because we all know networking in aviation is extremely important. So they can come in and network with other cadets, maybe build hours in a different way by meeting other cadets. And again, they have that face-to-face with the recruiters as well as crew members.
And you use the term virtual.
Virtual. Yeah, so we just have a virtual meeting where they jump on the computer and we turn on our cameras and we
walk around with your iPhone.
Well, we prefer you be sitting at a computer, I guess.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's just so you know, to get everybody in one location on a regular basis can be difficult. But right along those lines, we do have in-person cadet day, where we'll fly all the cadets down to the American Airlines Training Center in Charlotte, and we give them an opportunity to meet some of the senior management in person. Again, another great thing about Piedmont, the senior management is so supportive of all these programs. They come down, they want to network, they want to meet the cadets, and so it gives them a feeling, you know, part of the family. That's really what we're looking for, you know, become part of the Piedmont family.
Well, and that will come back to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave Piedmont. You're going to pay me more money, but you won't make me as happy as I am here.
Right.
And Brian, as far as the numbers, can you share with me what kind of numbers? Some people are not funny. There's nothing funny about it, but it's sensitive about numbers. Well, we can't let anybody know we've got to have 1,000 pilots before the end of next month or we're going to go out of business. Piedmont's not in that position, but how many cadets do you have in the pipeline right now?
Yeah, so right now, I think last I checked, we're at 65, something in that area, but we are looking to increase that. The cadets, constant turnover with the cadets, so we can get that number a little higher, but as the cadets come in and we run classes, those cadets that have reached their minimums go to those classes, so you know, there's turnover through it, which we want. That's the reason they came into the cadet program.
You graduate them and put them on the line.
Yeah, it's an automatic. There's no second interview. Once you become a cadet, you know you have a first officer spot waiting for you. And we plan to run classes, continue to run classes. Our biggest constraint really has been the number of captains. We were a little bit imbalanced where we had too many first officers, so we were needing to get captains. Our team has done a great job of hitting those numbers to get the captains, so we're getting much more imbalanced now. So the plans right now are to run classes twice a month, and we'll have captains and first officers in all those classes.
Well, it's a big machine as far as coming and going. And I can only imagine the headaches of some of the planners, the upper management.
Yeah.
Well, we're just now getting our workforce where we need it, and we're losing out of retirement 250 people.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
you know, if you think this job is stable, just wait 10 minutes and it's going to change. So yeah, we really have to stay in front of things, and we We meet constantly about where we're at number-wise and what we need, and planning classes and planning cadets, whether we're hiring high-time cadets or low-time cadets. So many factors in it, and that's kind of my role as a manager, is to kind of guide the team as to what we really need to be focusing on. And again, like anything in aviation, it changes pretty constantly. But we're feeling good where we're at. You know, we know we're going to grow, and as many as we can get, we're going to keep growing.
Well, looking out at this audience here, not just our camera folks and our production table, but I was really kind of surprised to hear you just have 65 cadets. And it's not to be confused with Civil Air Patrol cadets. A little different cadet program.
Right.
Well, it's a lot different, because what does it take to be a cadet? And we're trying to pull these folks out of the woodwork that I had no idea I could be a cadet with Piedmont Airlines.
Yeah, and again, we're increasing that number. It's the turnover. You know, if we hover around 100 to 200 cadets, and we bring them in as first officers and replace them with new cadets, it really is as simple as applying. And you know, I always give the advice to cadets, or any pilot just starting out, just take it slow, make sure you're successful, make sure you're staying safe, you know, and you know, just don't think it's all got to be done quick. You know, like, don't speed along, check rides, make sure you're ready, and all that, all those good things. So yeah, if anybody's interested in becoming a cadet, it's just a matter of applying for a cadet program, and we do have a lot of applications. We continue to roll through them. PiedmontAirlines.com. There's a place to apply on there. So if you're out there and building time, and you know you want to get in the airline industry, the cadet program's a great program to look at.
Wow. See, that's what we would call back in college a floor stomper.
A floor stomper.
A floor stomper. Go online. Piedmont Airline,
Piedmont-Airlines.com.
And in there, is there a cadet drop down?
Whole cadet section in there. You can read all about the program and where to apply for it.
I didn't know that. You didn't know that. So we need to know that, and send the folks. And I tell you what would be a real kudos to us if we find some of your cadets or captains. And I want to hear later down the road. I know I'm not old enough to look like I'm going to retire anytime soon, but what was that? I want to be on an airline and say, you know, I saw your interview with Brian back, and I didn't know about the cadet program. I signed up. I went through the program, and look at me now.
Yeah, exactly.
So the success story. It's
Success
really,
story. That's what it's about. Yep.
And that's what we're here to do, and that's why we appreciate your support so much to help us bring on these programs like this.
Extremely important.
And piloting is. I was going to ask you earlier, how many people come up to you and say, "Man, all I want to do, I want to be a dispatcher." I mean. There's a lot that goes into learning how to be a certified dispatcher. You can name where you want to live, where you want to go, how much you want to do, how much you want to make. I mean, you name it, dispatcher. But there's a lot that goes into it. It's a lot of it's not for everybody.
A lot of good positions out there. You know, even outside the pilot world, a lot of things make the airlines go. So, yeah, if any interest in aviation, do a little research. Our website has all those positions on there. Encourage you to take a look around and see where you'd fit into our family.
Well, and I know that there would be a spot for a lot of folks, and the loads these days. When I travel on airlines, it's just it's remarkable of how packed they are.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a lot of nervous people up in the upper ranks of how do we perpetuate this? How do we keep it going? When do we add equipment? Well, we got to have more pilots and mechanics before we add equipment. And then about the time you add equipment, now the load factors start to come down.
Right.
Or have another worldwide crisis or something. But it takes people. And I can tell, Brian, you are a people person type deal. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons you're in the role that you're in.
I appreciate it.
Is there anybody else here with Piedmont? Are you here by yourself, man?
Oh no, we have a team of recruiters. We're in both the career fair here. We have a couple recruiters there, and we're also in Hangar A here. So we love seeing all the folks, even if you know, if you're not ready to make the plunge yet. Come, we always have great swags, and we're always happy to talk to folks. So
Cool swags. You got pins, peanuts.
well, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to make a walk through.
Got some great boonie hats this year.
boonie hats.
Yeah.
Cool. I gotta go. I need one because my hair's suddenly falling out. And I don't have anything to protect me. Brian, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having us.
And let's do this again, maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
And we'll talk.
I'll meet you here.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, that's going to wind this one up, and we are going to. I can't wait till tomorrow now to get to part B with Brian. I'm Ben Coleman, your anchor host, Florida Aviation Network, Sun and Fun 50th Annuals. We'll see you next interview.